for Sharks on this map, and also one of their biggest opposition, and one of the teams that have been playing Bind very well in their region in Brazil has been Vikings. So you definitely could see a little bit more of that Viking playstyle into this lineup for Sharks. And I'm also a huge fan of the double initiator. And at that point, there's going to be a mirror composition or mirror matchup between these two teams, because Light used to play an Omen, now going to a Brimstone, and now we're also live in a pistol round with Crew starting things off here on the defender side.
Yeah, we actually see the wall dropped immediately to get control of the ult orb. That's actually really interesting. I wonder if this is any read, any knowledge that's coming through here from Crew.
Yeah.
Trying to do a blind counter.
And I'm actually mistaken, too. I thought it was going to be a mirror matchup because Crew usually plays a double initiator at this part, but they actually switched things out, right? They have a Sage coming out. We saw the wall come out for the orb, and they're also taken away from the Sova. So this is going to be something new that our Sharks are not going to be accustomed to, Dan.
Yeah, this is going to be really fun to watch, and really happy to see gaabxx on the Viper here. Very slow opening pistol as these two teams exchange utility just at the early stages. But Sharks need to start to get a move on here. They don't have too much time remaining. There's an information play down long here from Klaus. He's going to spot the rotation. So that's a beautiful timing for Crew, because they're going to get that rotation into B, maybe just in the nick of time here. And it's going to be a push straight forwards. Not many bullets left there for Klaus, but just enough to get the kill and hold on to the position. He is in so much trouble. I don't even understand how Klaus is alive. gaabxx is able to take down B and J. So still fighting hard here, but time is also against them. Maybe time is the greater enemy at this point here for Sharks. Crew will finish off the push. And Sharks, it felt like they were in a good position until that info play came from Klaus. What a just series of heroics from Klaus.
And he still stayed alive, Dan. At the end of the round, he still stayed alive. He got a kill on top of that onto gaabxx and really slowed things down on that push. And I think even though, yes, the timing was perfect there for Sharks to get out from the hookah into the B site, what really slowed them down was not only the frenzies, but that toxic screen, which is why it's also okay to keep that hookah area open when now they're pushing out towards the site. You had the wall come out, the frenzy's gonna melt them down, they have the decay debuff. It was just very powerful with how much bullets, even though he didn't have that many left for Klaus. The rotation order came in at the same time, and it just you saw Sharks literally melted at that point. But the wall gets broken, and the lineup comes in for NagZ, and that's 2 kills now. Make that even 3 for Crew Esports.
Yeah, this wall seems to be a thing right now. Actually working out quite nicely for NagZ, as you highlighted.
Yeah.
It is interesting, the wall there, because, normally maybe you just throw in a smoke, but really guaranteeing the ult orb. Again, it is a question of investment. That's a 400 credit ability that's got a huge amount of utility in what you can do with it. So I'm not sure if I'm a fan of it just for the ult orb, but if they understand that this is a great way to deny how Sharks likes to default, then there's a lot of additional value there that we wouldn't necessarily see.
I do like the play, though. I find that this is something very similar as the 4-block wall that you have on Tube, on Icebox, or even a 4-block wall that Scream, for example, does into sewers of the A side of Haven. So, yes, if it's beginning spammed, you know that there's pressure going on there. If it's not being spammed, you could take the orb, rotate out, stack up more towards that B side, get their early rotates, and once the wall thaws up and breaks, I wouldn't be surprised if you throw a brimstone smoke right after, just again as how Liquid plays it on short A Haven side. With that, though, we do have those smokes that I was talking about from Brimstone, something that has changed here from Sharks, bringing that in. The toxic screen comes up at the same time, and you saw how beautiful that was for them to get in. And a passive retake play for Crew does not work out for their bonus round so far.
Yeah, really nice push from Sharks. They've dealt with every position really effectively here. Oh, there comes a very, very quick B&J. Satcheling forward, prozin. Fantastic finish there with the Vandal. And that was a nice set piece. It's such a great punish too, because again, we've seen that heavier presence right at the beginning of the round towards showers. So for the Prime Gaming Flawless, what we're seeing here is, hey, you guys are going to play mostly showers on the defense. Well, we're just going to take short for free. And That worked out really nicely.
And I think the frost orbs that came out there from the Sage was a little bit too deep, where he actually punished them, where he couldn't really fall back out of it. So even if you're giving away that short side for the attackers to take, for you to still be able to take showers control and play that deep is still going to be very strong for the retake play. Because as you throw those frost orbs on the ground, you're actually disrupting right now the pulse plant situations for the attack that allows a rotate to come back from the A side, where again, you have 3 flashes potentially from Klaus coming in from B side to A side that could really disrupt Sharks on the pulse plant. That said, though, it was a perfect execution for Sharks, a flawless from Prime Gaming, and at the same time, that builds the economy, builds the momentum, and builds what they need, Sharks, to try to bring this to a third map.
Yeah, I'm liking that we see NagZ switched up to Uka there. Completely different approach in the defense. And they've picked off Leitch and fallen off, and that's a huge pick to get, especially as, you know, without Brimstone, making his executes onto the site with the lack of smokes is going to be difficult. That said, Sharks are just maneuvering their way forward, contacting into the A site with great success, able to get the opening kills that they need. A 3v3. Crew will have players there on the rotation in time, but they need to be cautious. Make sure they can coordinate this attacking effort. And with the Seekers, they'll do just that, pushing forwards. But prozin might just take the fight straight to them. Swinging out from U-Haul. BNJ with a great defense, leaving just prozin left. Over by U-Haul, catches one. He surely knows there's a stick happening right now. NagZ is never coming off of this one, and he's going to just see it to completion. Crew will pick up the rounds. Again, it felt like Sharks had a good punish, understanding that they could just, you know, walk up the short position, given how the defense was playing. But the crew are they're just too good, man.
The Seekers are perfect as well too, right, to get that information. And I definitely saw that the key winning round, the key winning factor there, even though they lost a player, was that NagZ still had that res. So they really had to try to find a way to maybe shut him out to prevent him from getting any res moving forward. But as you saw, as soon as I came back up, it was a 3 versus 1. They lost that Seeker play from Klaus before he died, but it was still good enough to gain that information too for a crew to retake that round and get this. At least as we're talking about the cabbages, the Seekers, it's available for Fra on the attacker side here for Sharks. They could put good use to it so far, and it's actually going to be the showstopper to start things off, and it connects onto NagZ and weakens up the B site.
Great early pick here. Mazino asking questions of short. Again, there's been so many lurks through that short position. It makes sense, but Klaus is actually going to go straight through the Viper's toxic screen. And there go the Seekers you were mentioning. It's going to get the information, also allows you to gain a lot of ground as it can just serve as some forward cover. Absorb some bullets for you. It's going to chase out all of the defenders from the sites. ENG actually peeking beyond the smoke on Heaven will get taken out, and that's an unfortunate loss for Crew. 3 versus 5 retake. Not looking all that likely here. They're going to save. Very sensible.
Yeah, it's because it was looking to be another Prime Gaming flawless, but this time on the end of Sharks, and it was a very nice execution, right? Disrupting now, prozin moving in towards that B-side hookah, and also taking down a key member into NagZ, who the one that's able to slow things down on any type of B-side aggression. Also, he was there with Klaus, and they still have the toxic screen, though, on that B-side. So this is what I've noticed as well from Crew actually playing on the defense. It's not very often that you see them throw the wall across for like the shower side control, only from time to time. But when I'm looking at other teams, it seems to be like a basic and most common thing to want to put down towards the showers, just so that you could slow things down on early aggression executions into the A site. But now as you're using all that deniability, the slow ability from deniability ability, from Sage and also from the Viper inside the hookah side, you're really weakening up the A site. So as you force to rotate over, it's easier for Sharks to just explode into A right after.
Yeah, they've been really enjoying that so far. It's been really helpful, I think, for them. And I'm enjoying how much Crew are mixing things up also on their defense. We're going to see NagZ once again towards showers, so you might see that wall. But there's a few players here. There goes the bird flying through. Snake bite.
Nice little combo.
Some assistance.
Yeah. So I wonder if they're going to try to bring this a little bit more, this combination between Mazino and to NagZ, just to try to slow things down quite often, not only with the slow orbs, with the snake bites, run down that clock and really force the hand for Sharks to move maybe on a later time when you know that Sharks plays things very aggressively.
Yeah, and it's been really interesting as well because deNaro has been waiting for a push towards B long, which you could have expected given how much presence was around showers. It wouldn't be too unlikely that crew would say, okay, hang on, it seems like there's a lot of players towards A, let's try to get information towards B and confirm that. But they didn't push at all. Klaus is going to be able to flash a lot of players there, so they are going to understand, well, crew, exactly what Sharks are doing at this point. There is some utility to delay, even having an orbital strike available. Oh, they're going to hit up the TP. Quick rotation through there, straight through showers, but an ice orb to slow things down. This is actually a huge problem. NagZ holding onto that position. And again, the orbital strike is still available. That could buy key time. There it goes into the showers. That's the spike now down on the ground. Mazino takes a forward position in the corner, and they have no idea that he's there. Beautiful play from crew, controlling the movement of Sharks.
The whole map. It's back to Icebox again. When Sharks thinks that they have map control, when they have actually forced rotations or whatnot, and are able to sell a fake, it didn't happen because I just mentioned a big flank. While all of this was happening towards this long B side that they were flashed out by Klaus with that guided light, you also had BNJ that pushed down towards Sen and was already going for a big flank at the same time. And I like it because if they were going to get pressured later on at Octagon, well, maybe they have less numbers, but again, they still have that toxic screen. And now that you hear all this teleportation come out towards this B side, you know it's coming towards B. You still have a slow orb combined with the orbital strike to get those kills. It was just beautiful play for a crew to save their abilities and use them at the right time to just make, like, they didn't even have to bring that many gunfights to be able to win that round.
Yeah, they're doing a great job in just managing the information, managing the utility. Completely agree. Kazan there, getting some information on Hookah. BNJ actually not being pushed out of Hookah, but instead pushes further in. Flash comes through. And they have a sense that BNJ's got to be in this position. There goes the snake bite. BNJ commits to the fight. Oh, God. Actually comes out with the showstopper. Gets denied, unfortunately for him, by the snake bite. Almost his 4, 40 seconds to go. A rotation from Sharks, looking to finish on this A site. But again, this utility, very annoying to deal with. NagZ, great defensive kill there from Triple. And the delay again is just so difficult for Sharks to get past. They can't deal with this utility. 20 seconds to plant the spike. The 4 rotations in here now from crew. Once again, they look like they're in control of everything. Just have to hit the shots, but it's Sharks who might be a little bit better on that one. deltuc with something to say about it. Quick rotation, though, from Frazan through to the B site. It is a sprint. It's a race. Frazan might be able to just about plant this one.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Well, there's no more time for that.
Nope.
Gambling on the push. A push that never came.
Oh, my. And that's exactly it. Just this deniability again from Mazino and also from NagZ. This time towards short A. And I even saw that coming, that if they were forcing the hand and the attackers were like, well, screw this, we're going to go through the teleporter and go towards B. If they actually still had their Viper alive, the toxic screen again is going to come out. So just having them, they're basically like flies right now for Sharks running into the spiderweb that's being pulled out here by crew, and they're just feasting right now onto Sharks, unfortunately, at this point. And now Sharks, they're realizing this. Okay, the fakes are not working. Our huge hits seem to be the way that they have the most success, I guess, the most success rates to just go for the all-out attack. I think now it's just try to determine how they want to do this right now. They have a Viper's Pit. They have a Hunter's Fury on the attacker too. Is this going to be a way to try to flush out Mazino and NagZ should they play towards lamps one more time into the A site so they could get a Viper's Pit plant into this A site?
Yeah, that would be really cool to see. We haven't seen any Viper's Pit action just yet, and with 2 of them ready to go, fully loaded, it's going to be fun to see how that goes down. It has been really cool to see the dynamic around showers, I've got to say. It feels like crew, tactically speaking, seem to have this like extra layer to them, and that's been so very helpful. Just the level of delay that they have with their composition, it seems to be very difficult for Sharks because even when Sharks, start out the round trying to deplete some of this utility by, getting rid of the ice orbs and getting rid of the brim smokes and so on, it still seems like somehow we're having crew holding on to enough that they're still able to kind of effectively win the timings with their delay by having that utility still left in the tank by the end of the round. So whatever crew are doing here, it's working out really well.
Definitely, and I haven't even seen where the Viper Cloud could have been that useful too for crew. Even at that point, maybe I think it was on the double stack at short A from their position right now on that defense. So if they run out of abilities to slow things down and deny, they could always pull that back up so that when the attackers are running through, you're already getting the decay debuff. You're already losing 30 HP, and it's just going to be easier for the defenders to melt you down, basically. And speaking about melting, we see some toxic screen coming, or should I say a snake bite going through the teleporter into hookah, and also a Viper's Pit into the A site, denying any type of vision in that area, and that's some big pain shells that's going to push prozin back.
Yeah, this is always a really difficult spot to be in when the defenders have used the Viper's Pit like this, because what you have to think, okay, well, what will my opponents do once they use the Viper's Pit like that? Will they use it to play less players on the site, thinking that we're never going to go there so they can stack the B site in this case? Could we call that bluff? Or maybe they're not even stacking the B site. There's a lot in the way of mind games that happens in a scenario like this.
Yeah.
And you can see that Sharks are just keeping it simple for going for the B hit.
Exactly, but I was gonna say they have deNaro and they have Fra, two initiators that can get that information too. On top of the Hunter's Fury, it could help a lot, but they're still going into a crossfire setup in the B site then.
Yeah, crew have players backside to deal with this. delzik last one standing here for the time being, but mitch able to deal with him, and that should be now the side open for the plant. You get some snake bites coming through. I'm not sure if that's gonna bounce and deny. Doesn't look like it will. deNaro with that plant for Sharks. Sharks looking good here. 3 versus 2 advantage with that spike on planted.
3 ults. There's no way you lose this round now for Sharks.
Oh, you just said it, didn't you? Is the jinx gonna come through here from Vansili? Crew are gonna creep their way forwards. Great crossbar setup. mazino will indeed get taken down by that crossbar. So no ults even needed to be used, and that's great. That's so fantastic, because you definitely would look at Sharks now and peg them in the advantage going to this round, just off of the ultimate economy alone.
I love, Dan, how you just said, is this going to be a jinx bite? And you had to say my name just in case, so you don't go down under the bus with me, right? So thanks for that. I thought you had my back the whole time, bro. No, but nonetheless, even though they had a 3-player crossfire set up inside that B site for crew, just the amount of utility that was thrown out, the shock darts that I saw coming out at the same time, the satchel charge to allow prozin to get into site, and also being the bait for the rest to come out and get these kills has been huge at the same time. So a very nice execution for Sharks, saving those 3 ultimates into this round. And look at that, even though it took so many rounds for them to get a victory here for Sharks, you're already seeing crew at a half buy, so low on the economy already.
We've got that U-Haul control coming through with the satchel straight away. Really nice opening from Sharks, again, using those ults to their advantage. And yeah, crew on the struggle bus here. delzik isolated in showers. Might wrap around, possibly. But Sharks, yeah, in a commanding position. They have time and position to do whatever they want here. They go for the teleporter rotation with prozin in U-Haul still. So this is looking great. Okay, well, 1 player now is known. The crew, and now the 2nd player is known as well. So they can pick up a judge, but
spike planted.
That's about it.
Yeah, and now as you basically half bot, right? Wow, okay.
Didn't check for that with the dog. Interesting.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, now that you had a half buy, you wanted to try to push a bit, looking for those exits at the same time, just to hurt the econ, because technically you should still be able to buy here for the next round for crew. So I like the fact that he still went through the teleporter to try to get a frag. And speaking about frag, it's gonna be Fra instead. It's gonna get the last kill onto Klaus. It's gonna be a little bit of sky on sky, where you have the attacker side taking the upper hand, and 2 very needed rounds here for Sharks, because yes, this is their map pick at the same time, Dan, but when I look back at their records, the last 4 times that they've played it in their region, qualifying into this event, they've never won it. So this is why it's also very surprising for me that Sharks wants to continue to play on Bind. I think they're very confident with the lineup. I'd be confident with the lineup that I currently have as well. Again, being a fan of double initiators, to get information, to play for information, especially on the defender side too, is going to help a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, nice opener for the showstopper there from prozin. And now we've got Klaus trying to get back into safety, just about able to dodge around elbow. Great shots though. prozin is looking fantastic. Klaus is able to hold on to things here on elbow at the very least. Out comes the Seekers. And it looks like actually crew have control of this site. We see that there is a rotation now from Sharks straight to the A site after pulling all of the rotation there from crew. Mazino, he's caught the spike on the cross. This is a problem. Gonna have to take the fight here is gaabxx, and unfortunately, the spike now, once again, is down on the ground. Oh, it looked
So
promising initially.
Yeah. And just from the cabbages, though, unfortunately, I love saying cabbages. I got to give credit to Taylor and yourself that pulled that out on your show. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to call these cabbages from now on. But just those seekers that came out that allowed Mazino to know where the attackers are rotating. So he holds the off angle. He's able to get the kill and drop the spike carrier onto Leitch. And not only that, throws on top of that the snake bite on the ground. And mechanically, what I also like is, yes, he's maybe wasting down bullets in this face-to-face battle, trying to spray through the wall, but he's just trying to run down the time so that his teammates can rotate from Spice. Because once he dies, it's an immediate trade. It was a guaranteed round, and the chemistry that comes in for crew right now, despite them losing a couple of rounds, the last 2 rounds, they picked it back up right away once they have the economy working back in their favor.
Oh dear, nice opening by Leitch. Able to find a kill off of the spam through the smoke. Maybe that's why the wall's been going down there as well.
Yeah.
In previous rounds, the crew. NagZ on that hookah position is going to be falling off. So in the early round, we are seeing Sharks doing a pretty good job here on their default. Pushing back hookah control, getting that pick towards showers. Now they reset back towards A.
Got your trail.
Or they're going to push him back at the same time too from that dart. But at least deLeZig still has the orbital strike. So this could be very good right now as he's still holding showers. He has great crossfire from his teammates. So he doesn't have to worry about getting pushed from the back. He does get the first kill, looks back towards the showers, but loses a fight to deNaro, unfortunately.
Nice shot by Leitch as well. Mazino is in such a good position. It's down to NagZ here on the flank. Is he going to be able to find anything here? Oh, Leitch again. Really good round from him so far. Definitely looked like NagZ was on top of that one. Now Klaus in the 1v3. He's been spotted as well. So that is not going to happen. Klaus will fall back and save. And yeah, I feel like this round is all about Leitch. Just getting these two kills towards short were just hugely impactful. Mazino really looked like he was about to put a stop to the shenanigans, but Leitch with a quick flick was able to deal with that.
And those were a couple of kills that that brought him on the board in that previous round. I think when he got the 4K was his first 4 kills of the game. Now tying up to these, we talked about how Sharks, we wanted to see them find their footing. We're starting to see this right now. This is a whole different game from that first map on Icebox. And getting 5 rounds so far, tying it up on a 6-6, I'd still be pretty happy for Sharks when things didn't look like it was starting too well by losing that pistol round. So now you want to see gaabxx popping off at the same time too. But speaking about popping off, the abilities, the usage right now being used by Sharks on the attack, on the execution too, has been very good. Like this wall continues to come out towards the A side. I haven't seen it really being thrown anywhere else. So keeping this wall up and keeping them guessing really conditions crew as to keeping guessing where Sharks might be attacking, where they want to try to fight on the attack. But now that gets fully denied by a Viper's Pit that's thrown out by Mazino.
And we have, once again, NagZ going back to showers. And we get the Viper's Pit dropped on short as well. So really deterring Sharks from going there. Nice flick from prozin, able to take down BNJ. Really great opening there. And there's so much time left in the round to work with as well. This is certainly an IGL's dream. You're in a 5v4 with more than a minute to play with. The question is, what do the defenders do? They have that Viper's Pit still available on short A. So they're definitely feeling somewhat safe there, but they don't have any information right now.
Yeah, I feel that you're somewhat crippled too for crew because of that Viper's Pit. You kind of want to stay in there, so you have a little bit of more of a weakness. You can't really stack rotations, so you're forcing even your Sage to stay NagZ inside the showers just in case a hit's coming in towards that A side. So this is looking very good for Sharks here on the attack.
The drone is a great counter to Viper. If you can find the Viper and Tagger, that would be great. But Mazino able to dodge the drone, picks up the kill onto prozin, pushes further forward, leaving Sharks in a desperate position. Lich able to get control of showers with that pick onto NagZ. But there's still much more work to be done here. And Mazino, and just such an annoying threat here, is going to be completely circumvented as we see the rotation towards B. But Klaus, how many times has Klaus done an excellent job in this position? Takes down one, the second, and the third! Klaus is so damn good! And now there's only one left standing, and there's no time. Mazino finishes off Lich, and that's a 7-5 finish in favor of crew at the end of the first half of map 2.
Switching sides.
Wow. And IGL's dream to start things off early on a 5 versus 4, where prozin continues to do an absolutely phenomenal job on the on the hookah control and getting those first bloods. But again, it comes down to the combination of just one player inside the site, getting and fighting against decays of potentially a wall coming up, and Klaus on the off angle in that last round to mow down 3 and deny the plant has been huge there for crew. So yes, it does cripple Sharks in terms of the morale moving into the pistol round where you thought you had that advantage. But still, taking the defender side now, we talked about how they could elaborate their defense and how they elaborate their strategies on this map for Sharks. It could still very much be doable.
Flashing control through onto hookah, forcing back the defenders of Sharks. It's a good way to start things off here. So you can see that's going to force up the Viper's toxic screen. Definitely good to keep, well, keep control of the fuel on that one.
It's pretty much the same setup too. But the thing is, you have double initiator, right? So with this wall, you can see that a lot of information with the Silva and the Sky now for crew's side, and you're also playing with double frenzy inside the site. This is very scary for you to try to take.
Oh, Frazan gets caught on the jiggle. And crew now are in a really good position to try to barrel into this B site, but the toxic screen, do they respect it? It's very dangerous to push past it, but they're going to make it work. Nice jump straight through the screen, and crew are looking really good on this coordinated push. Fantastic stuff from them. Looking very, very comfortable and coordinated. Really nice spacing.
Oh man, definitely some nice spacing because they exploded off the guided light. You saw like they jumped out the toxic screen, something very common to do. The first player to come in, go for the jump, so you pull off the crosshair placement on the first player holding defense, and the second one could swing out no problem, exactly like that, and even kills him through the toxic screen. That was huge there from NagZ, but that's only 2 players that swung out towards that area. The other 2 ran out towards that hookah, and they had the same type of spacing. They all focused inside that shed just to make sure that Lich couldn't hold anything there, and then it was an easy sight. And this, wow, super aggressive Dan on Sands.
Yeah, going straight through the TP there to try to get some early pressure in on bjor. Not happening though. Crew are gonna just lock it down straight away, and he loses a single player. They're happy with that one. So, well, eco round, that was a very short-lived one.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it. And now we move into the buy round. So it's been a tough start to this half for Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
Question is what they have here to show us.
Oh wow. Okay, so we are able to go with pretty much everything here. We're going for the full buy. We have a full kit. I'm okay with that previous round. I think crunching into teleporter on Sands is something that could catch some teams off guard, but crew seemed to be ready for that. This round, though, we saw how aggressive crew was actually on that first round. They're doing the same thing on the third, but it gets denied here from a teammate flash, and BNG couldn't really get in with that satchel and a judge.
Yeah, like in the control play here, Klaus almost gets caught. In fact, it's going to be BNJ that gets caught with the judge. So huge win for crew, holding on to hookah control. And for the likes of crew, had they taken hookah control, I think they were looking to finish A, rotate back with the spy through market, get it onto the A site. And Sharks actually going for the push here. They're so aggressive. Prozin forced back. And at this point, Vansily, it really could be either side, but it looks like Crew
Exactly.
that B side.
Screen down.
That flash was huge because that killed all noise. You have to now try to re-peek out. You have nothing left in terms of guided light or a trailblazer to get information. So they go aggressive and they play the angle. They're trying to go. I thought it was going to be a double swing, but now Frazan gets caught, and this is going to be even harder here for Frazin. And unfortunately, he's only good for one.
Really difficult spot here. Light's going to just swing onto Klaus, goes down as well. deNaro with the Phantom, unable to make anything happen. Ooh, big result there for Crew. Very nicely done. I was really liking what we saw on the defensive setup there from Sharks. I think it made a lot of sense, you know, putting two players on long and just playing retake on the B site. But they got a little bit unlucky in that first engagement. We're going to see it here, actually, on the left side. Frazan just slightly off with the timing. And Crew looking really good still.
Very, very good. Again, another, I think it was a first blood that came in favor of Sharks, right? But then it was a bonus round here for Crew. They still get the victory in the end. And I was scratching my head a little bit. I'm not against the fact that Prozin actually pushed down towards Sands, but what caused him to push down towards Sands when you also have two initiators in your lineup? Again, I'm gonna get back onto that to try to get the information. So I know he was trying to go for a flank moment, but was there something else that was being thrown here out from the initiators to get that information to have Prozin try to move forward? And because he falls back, not only he surrenders Sand, but he also surrenders Hookah when they had that perfect double stack in the beginning and gain that map control. So giving that away, forcing to reposition on the defense, and then gambling on a crossfire setup on B side where you don't have information. Again, he came back to Fra, forced to peek out with his body, and also losing his life in the process. So Crew doing a good job continuing to maintain the pace and control the pace of this whole series so far.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying the ways in which they've been accomplishing that, and just also how active they are. Also, just it was great seeing that previous round, you know, holding on to Hookah control and then actually still, you know, deciding to go for pushes afterwards to try to catch Sharks off. So for Sharks, they never feel safe. There's never really a moment where they can feel safe.
Ironic
from their opponent,
because you're Sharks.
Yeah. And we actually get aggressive play around A Short and Cubby here, getting prozin in a really deep position. We talked about that aggression. Has the judge as well. Perfect weapon for the job.
Yes.
And I don't know if mazino is going to have a good time here. This is looking... I'm very afraid for mazino.
At least it's a default, right? So if he dies, at least it's information that it's close. They're creeping up slowly at the same time, and also at showers. It's looking to be a hit towards the A side at the beginning, but it really comes down to this first fight at short A.
Oh, and prozin's going to be moving into the brimstone smoke as well. This is, again, feeling quite dangerous. How cognizant might they be that Sharks have placed prozin in a forward position? Looks like he'll finally ease up a little bit as the smokes go away, but still very dangerous with this judge in this position. Oh,
wow.
mazino, I don't think he knew anything about that one. Just jiggling with the Phantom takes him down, and that's going to be a free A site to take full advantage of. The Viper's Pit is down as well, and this would be a 2 versus 5 retake. I don't think the Sharks want anything to do with this, but see if they can get any damage in here. Well,
wow.
It's a Prime Gaming flawless from Crew.
That was even on top of that, not only for the kill, but a beautiful execution. Yes, you did play against a half buy only, so technically you do have the advantage here for Crew. But to see, again, those two smokes coming in from both sides of triple, the Viper Wall, but not only that, the paint shells just to make sure you clear out towards the back of the APC, that was combined with the slow orb, and also allowing Raze to get on top of the APC. Just the map control in the execution itself for Crew was beautiful in itself. And with that, it shows that not only Sharks have been comfortable playing on this map, but definitely Crew in the end. And so far, you look at the scoreboard here, Dan, you've gotten Sharks at 5 rounds. And if it continues to what Potter was saying on the analyst desk, potentially this could be it as well. But you hope that it's going to be the other way around and that Sharks can come back and bring this potentially in a closer game and hopefully win the second map.
Yeah, we'll see what they're able to do. They are holding on to Hookah currently, Sharks. And the question is if crew are going to be able to force them out. I like what gaabxx is doing, just showing presence here, but you got to be so careful.
He's been good for it, though.
He's actually going forward. He knows his angles. Beautiful stuff. The distance advantage there for gaabxx is used to perfect effect. And able to fall back in a way now. And this is very scary because it looks like we'll get crew starting to try to swing onto the side. The toxic screen is there. It goes down! gaabxx, great stuff from him. What a round so far from gaabxx. Looking to finish it all off, but will get taken out. Done more than enough, as prozin is the one to finish off Klaus for the round for Sharks. And if we're going to get a comeback, you know, that's a great round for it to start. Fantastic play from gaabxx.
This is where it's going to get dangerous. You don't want to poke the sleeping bear, and that being gaabxx himself. Despite losing by so many rounds, despite not living up to the performance as we want from gaabxx, he doesn't care. Still continues to push forward, still brings in the confidence, and that is exactly what you want in terms of this land setting. The pressure is on, but you don't want to demonstrate that. You still want to play the same game as if you're playing online, as if you're playing from home, and he brought some amazing results there. This could potentially keep Sharks into the game so far, as they have a full gun round in this round. They have a Viper Spit that controls all of Showers, actually. Another different way to run the Viper Spit towards this map, actually, on Bind. And now you could focus players, a stack, towards the short A and also towards B.
And the Seekers will actually allow a clearance there for gaabxx, but once again for Showers. So at this point, it's going to be a fast adaptation. We get the drone coming through from deNaro there, just trying to see, okay, well, we've taken over so much control around A, surely I should see something around B short if they're rotating to B, but crew are playing quite slowly, and they're actually, they might be calling the bluff here and looking to just send it towards this A site. Spike is still down on the ground towards Market, and oh no!
Huge!
Big paint shell kill onto Mazino. And it's the desperation play into the B site. Will Sharks be able to defend it? Oh no! deNaro goes down on the peak! He has a Hunter's Fury as well, but still, it's looking good for crew as they make their way in.
I can't believe it, Dan. It was looking so good. Again, they had full control of Showers to kill onto short. They had smokes on Hookah. They didn't use it. They got punished when they were rotating back. And now crew, they've turned around over. That's back on a 3 versus 3. They have a crossfire set up into the site. 2 players inside Hookah. Very difficult for Sharks to take this back because they have no flashes.
Such a great setup. Now down to prozin to try to keep the dream alive here in this round for Sharks. And they are making it as painful as possible. Our crew at this point is forcing him, just off the flash. There we go, deLezic finishes things. And crew, as you say, Vansilli, it just really felt like that was such a good round for Sharks to be able to just close down. But some of these peaks, you know, it just didn't go their way. It just started with deNaro losing his 1v1. Peter Hunter's Fury as well, so
yeah,
would have had the ability to use that to delay.
Delay, retake. You have, again, your Sova, right? Owl Drone, Recon Dart. You have so much into your utility. I'm okay with giving that up. Giving up the B site when you think it's lost because they took the teleporter into B. Just have your teammates come back. You still have a numbers advantage. Go for that instead.
Oh, this is scary. Mazino's got a great angle there. The spray transfer's almost good for it. Sharks will take down Mazino. NagZ is investigating. Oh, no, they line up! And that's the res as well. If it wasn't bad enough, they get an extra player out of it too. And NagZ's going to just lock off U-Haul. deNaro there with that Hunter's Fury. Able to pick off one, but it's still a 2v4 here. And this is it, Vansilli. If they lose this round, if Sharks lose this round, they're out.
Well, you have Orbital Strike, so this is something that could maybe help out. Ledge hopefully could get something in terms of map control by ulting towards the U-shaped hallway, and then they could push out from that. There you go. They force it out, but BNJ comes out of the U-shaped hallway with a showstopper, and this is going to be almost game over here, Dan.
It's looking like it right now as Sharks will try to make something happen. deNaro making his way forwards. The crew, they are playing disciplined here. The spray comes through and crew will finish it. A decisive victory over